Greetings everyone, the Good Sir Knight here today to go over a quick, short, brief little history about helmets. So helmets, they cover your grape, protect your melon, and although not particularly bulletproof per se, definitely a bit more bullet resistant, but generally not so much. We're going to start off with more old school sort of steel pot setups. Now, this one I actually think is the M1 steel pot, but as you can tell, it is, in fact, made of steel, painted over, a nice little, really olive drab, it's sort of odd little, I think more of a Russian style, really. But you've got a leather chin strap, and this little suspension harness sort of setup. So, kind of like a more glorified hard hat. Now, didn't stop bullets, steel was definitely too thin, and didn't really stop a lot, but what it did, and the main thing that helmets do, is that they absorb the shock wave from explosions and, to a degree, stop shrapnel. Now, the reason the shockwave is important is because although shrapnel may not fly directly at you or even hit you, the problem that you'd run into is the strong concussive force could generally go straight through your skull and turn your brain into jello, which is a pretty good way to not be alive any longer. So, that's pretty much what the helmet did. Now, the steel pot is relatively hefty, not too crazy, but it kept that concussive force from turning your brain into goop, which was a good thing. And that's pretty much all it did. Also, fragments, a glorified hard hat came from falling fragments from buildings or explosions or any of that sort of nature. So, steel pot, more popular from, well, I guess World War I even. In World War I, people shooting each other from trenches. World War II, a bit of a redesign, but a few covers and everything. And yeah, then even in Vietnam, still in use. And then people were like, hey, we should do something else. So around, was it 1980 or so, in the 1980s, they moved away from the steel pot and went up to the pasket. Now the pasket was basically a series of Kevlar vest and helmets. And it stood for the personal armor systems for ground troops. And this is obviously going to be a fake one that I actually got at a claw machine a while ago. Now, if you ignore the fact that it says neat, what was notable was it had this brim to protect against, well, I guess, not so much degree sunlight, but as well as fragments coming down and getting into your eyes. And this nice little ear cover, which you could attempt to run comms under if you were lucky. But the problem was, this was also quite hefty. Not this one, this one's like plastic, but the real ones were quite hefty. And again, you had a similar set. This one's obviously, like I said earlier, fake, but the concept is the same. You had a basic 2-point chin strap and a suspension hard hat sort of liner on the inside to basically put distance between your head and the helmet. So the impact, the force of the impact when transferred directly into your head would be dispersed over said suspension system. Now these are actually still in service to today, although they have been taken out by the Mitch. Supposed to be getting replaced, but hey, Marine Corps funding. So, suspension system, pretty simple, a bit hefty, goes on your head, like so, and you just strap it on in. And the chin strap provides a bit of support, not really a lot, and the helmet can basically flop freely wherever the hell it wants. But yeah, more of a classic style, and you could put all sorts of covers and a band over it. And it was pretty interesting, but a lot of people, particularly special forces, didn't really care for them because they'd have to mount night vision optics and a few extra lasers and everything on the side. And it was too heavy, it got in the way of all their operations. So a lot of them, knowing that this really just stops the concussive force and everything, swapped out of these and at their own discretion moved up to basically, you stop that right now, moved up to basically super bicycle helmets. This we're going to call them basic fast helmets, bump helmets. Type of helmets you'd wear in an aircraft or doing non-combat operations, but they moved towards these because mounting your night visions and everything via bands to your head was kind of a pain. No, they don't really want to wear a hat. But basically what you're doing here is you have a reinforced plastic, flexible and everything, so it's breathable, which is another thing that the Passkey got way too hot to allow your head to vent. So this gives you a breathable option. This one is a ProTech helmet, so made by a pretty fancy skateboard bicycle company. And the other one that's commonly and also popular is the ops core. Now the key difference is the ops core will actually have the bicycle padding inserted into it, as well as various things, which I think actually makes it a bit better, especially if you're going to be doing amphibious operations. And this one has a removable padding that's just kind of glued into there. It is solid. It'll take some, well, bumps, but not going to stop a bullet and also not really going to protect you from concussive force. But yeah, as far as impacts and everything, additionally, the main thing was that they had the earpieces removed, so that when the helmet was in use, you can run comms under it, and these comms can be, especially with sword-ins, they can be lifted up and moved towards the side of the helmet, out of the way, to be rapidly re-equipped. So basically, kind of integrating effectively your comm systems and everything. This one has rails on the side. The other one, the ops core, uses a an arc system. And yeah, most importantly, that you'll see here, is that you can mount the NVGs and everything onto here quite effectively. And it gave you a very lightweight and versatile sort of helmet. Now, again, the downside is not a whole lot of actual protection going on, just sort of a simple cover to your grape, and they give you some good ops things. So, I know one operator was killed while wearing one of these from a headshot, which arguably an actual helmet may or may not have saved him from. But the key issue there was that the Pasket helmet was just old. Even when after they did the retrofitting and putting in ballistic padding and a 4-point chin strap to give better stability and more comfort, ease of use and everything, still wasn't holding up as these became relatively popular and remain somewhat popular to today. So they developed the Mitch, which is still in use by Marine Raiders and everything now. If you ignore the mods on this one, this is basically the Mitch helmet. The key differences is the ear protection, although still there, has been reduced in size. There's no forward bill. You still easy to mount night vision onto. And you have arc rails that can be attached to the side, as well as retention bands for goggles and everything. Now, this one has the 4-point, I think it's a Spec Ops who makes it, 4-point cross harness, which gives better support to the NVGs. And it's super comfortable, 4-point mounted, and yeah, Velcro mounted on there in the was it Marine Corps Raider Marsoc sort of standard setup. And it's lighter, although it's gonna be heavy for those who haven't really used the old Pasket helmets, but it's still light. It's made by MSA, and by removing the inner pads, we have the high comfort version inserted, soft and squishy. By removing a few of these inner ones, you can still run comms underneath it, which made it super effective. And since not all that long ago, actually, this helmet has been supposedly replacing all the others. It's comfortable, it's stable, doesn't shake around a lot. With the back cross harness, it gives support to when forward weight is applied with an NVG system. And honestly, this one's become my favorite. Now, this isn't even my final form, is what we're getting at, but with this helmet, you have a bunch of ballistic protection. Still, maybe a 20-30% chance, depending on how terrible the Haji sniper is, of deflecting a bullet. And yeah, solid defensive helmet, NVG mounts and everything like that, with now added ballistic protection, protection against grenades, everything. And you still got some ear protection, which I'm personally a fan of. Now, the only other type of helmet, and possibly the one you've seen the most, is basically the combination between your ballistic helmet and your non-ballistic bump, which is going to be the, I don't even know what they call them now that I think about it. They're basically just a high cut. So take a Mitch, like this, and pretty much just cut out this earpiece. And I know this Mitch generally goes for a little over $300 depending on what all you get with it. I think $300 is base, and then you need a new suspension system, the arc rails, and your MVG mounts. But you cut off these earpieces and everything so that you can again mount the comms to the rear, more ease of use, sort of operator-tastic style. And those ones get expensive. We're talking like $1,000 plus. And surprisingly, $300 is pretty inexpensive when you think about it. But yeah, I don't personally have one because of the price, but you get the idea of removing the ears, although giving you less ear protection allows you to better integrate comms. So, pretty fantastic. I probably will be sticking with the Mitch because, well, I was in the Marine Corps, and I do like the style, and it's comfort and effective, and it'll keep your brain safe. So, keep your brain safe, and then when you get back home and it comes voting time, you can make better decisions. So, there's the joke. That's all I really want to get to. Additionally, I got a little contour helmet mount on here, so this definitely made mounting cameras a lot easier for me, airsoft-wise. But yes, fantastic ballistic protection, sufficiently higher grade of defense against BBs than others, but that's all I really wanted to run through with you guys. That's kind of a very, very short, not terribly detailed explanation of the history of helmets and where we are now. So, awesome. Maybe at some point we will have helmets that can stop bullets, but then you're going to be looking at neck strain and everything. You don't want to... As you get towards the 16th century knight helmets that the built-in... oh, what's that thing called? The gorset? So basically, you lose the ability to move your head, but any impacts are going to be further absorbed by the chest and everything, and it keeps your neck safer, so... I mean, you could probably... It would take quite a bit of work to get a helmet that will completely protect you from rounds. They were working with a version that actually incorporated face mask and everything, but it actually made explosions exponentially more damaging. And it already kind of killed people, so that didn't really work out, but maybe sometime in the future. But yeah, just wanted to run through those types of helmets with you, kind of bring you up from 116 years of technological advancements with a reference to the 1600s. And yeah, so protect your grape. Now you might be wondering why some people opt for hats, and I guess I'll cover that while this video is still rolling. Now the benefit of a hat, as opposed to wearing a helmet, is it is sufficiently lighter without giving you protection, but the key thing you're looking at is you're probably not looking at really getting shot at with super heavy ordnance, maybe not expecting the enemy to have explosions, or you're just shooting at the range. At which point, the benefit of a hat is that the bill will keep any spent brass from flying into your eye, or protective shooting glasses, or into your shirt. It gives you basically that added protection that'll keep brass from all over you. Unless you can get a helmet, at which point, probably want a helmet, unless it's just unbearably hot. Then you're wearing, well, then you're once again in the place where you're wearing armor, weight, and benefit versus the risk you're going to take. Because if you're overheated and unable to focus, you're far more likely to make mistakes and then get shot anyway. So, the joy of balance. So, that's all I had for you guys today. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one when I find some more interesting things. Though I do have some more fun reviews coming up, so cheers everyone. See you next time.